If you had to do one thing differently in your career, what it would be?
Nothing.
That's great. That's a great answer. And I will leave it at that. Swati, welcome to our channel.
Thank you so much. I'm extremely delighted that you called me out here, and I would love to help out people if there are students who are looking to work in Japan or study there. So I'm happy to connect in whatever ways it is possible. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Swati, for taking out time. I'm sure this video is going to be very helpful for any of you if you are a currently student who would pursue a corporate career in Japan, or you are thinking of learning Japanese language. Alright, so Swati, for students who wish to start their careers in Japan, how early should they start their job search?
Yeah. So, since to be very honest, there are still difficulties in finding the correct pathway, which can or people who can introduce you to legitimate opportunities. So what I would suggest is that if you have the clarity that you want to work there, you do your ground research. You start as early as possible. So the earliest you can obviously land a job is after graduation. So I would, and after graduation, if you want to land a good job, don't try to after school I'll just go and do something, because then you can you have burak kigyo, so you can land up in somewhere really weird. So if you want to have a safety net, complete your graduation, and maybe in the second year or something, start your do your research, look for the websites or job fairs which are there, and then you do it. Yeah.
So one more thing that I want to point out is Japan prefers fresh graduates. Don't try to, if this is your main goal, working in Japan is your goal, then you should start looking for a job in your graduation, first year, second year, whenever. Don't try to complete your masters, it's not going to help you.
Yeah.
Because in Japan, it's rather preferred that you are a fresh graduate.
Exactly, yeah. Because young people, you have flexibility to learn anything in any field.
Right.
That helps the companies as well, so that they can nurture you.
That's right. And also, it's easy to train them on the job. So that is the idea. So most training in Japan happens on the job. Rather than looking at what you pursued academically. So it is recommended that you do your graduation and right away land in Japan in the job.
Yeah.
So Swati, any preparations that one should do if they are looking to work in Japan?
If you're looking to work in Japan, so first is language.
Absolutely.
You need to have at least a functional base.
Yeah.
If you don't have functional language, then it is going to be really difficult, because there are people who speak English, but it will not help you in daily life. It will not help you in your office. It will not help you with building friendships with people, because once you are there and you'll realize that everything just works in Japanese more smoothly, more efficiently. So that's the first thing. And then obviously for job search, you might want to, since just like you said that you can go into different industries as a fresh graduate, it's generally good for you if you have an idea that what industry would you like to take up, and then apply, or start looking for platforms accordingly.
That's right, because in Japan, motivation also matters a lot. So when you are in job interviews, they want to hear all about your reasons why you are applying for a particular job, and it's not superficial at all. Somehow Japanese are also very good judge of people.
I mean, if you're sitting for an interview, you need to know their kigyoren, the company philosophy, and you need to have a reason of why you really like their company philosophy. And that's one question that will be at every interview. And you just have to convince them that, oh, this is what I'm working for, this is what I want to do in my life, and that's why this company is good. And they keep their standards there. You have to match with them. You just cannot say I have degrees and I can do your work and take me in. No, even if you have the qualification, you have to fit in
That's right.
their
System.
their system, yeah.
Their system or culture of that particular company.
Yeah.
I understand that so well. So, as I said, your reasons, your whys are very important in Japan, and it can't be superficial. It can't be like Swati said, that you can't just memorize the company philosophy and end up there. You will need to have your reasons and maybe experience and quote from your life
Exactly.
how you really fit in. Right?
Yes.
Definitely. So Swati, any particular websites or sources that you recommend for students who would be looking for jobs in Japan?
Yeah, I think currently the popular sites are of course DiJobs, Connect Jobs. There's another JAC Recruitment, or you can also look for LinkedIn. So these are the popular platforms which of course work. Then even on platforms like let's say personally I can say about DiJobs and Career Cross. So these platforms, they have agents who, if you connect with them, they'll help you connect with different companies according to your CV. So these are the common platforms right now. Yeah.
So, Swati, any particular industries that mostly hire foreigners? Any such areas, specializations that you can recommend?
Yeah, I think this is now a common knowledge that because Japan is suffering from their population is shrinking, and there is a huge demand for people who are in IT. So when I say IT, of course, if you know some kind of programming language, that is a really huge boost. And that is where so the general standard is that you need to have at least N2 or N1 if possible, right? But when it comes to IT jobs, they can lower their standards a little bit to say that even if you have functional Japanese language, we can take you in because we need that kind of a qualification. So that's one kind of.
So I asked the recruiter once, why for IT jobs the standards required for Japanese proficiency are not that high. So they gave me this reason that because in IT you could be working alone on a project, so you could be a coder or a network engineer, and you don't really need a large team to interact with. But in other cases, right. So it's more project based, and a lot of people are involved.
Correct. And I mean, it's not a blanket statement, but because I've done my Tenshoku job research and stuff, so you find many of these jobs completely work from home as well because you can do them alone, and you have to use programming languages. So that's the basic, right?
So, Swati, language proficiency wise, you just mentioned that N3 level is the minimum, and if possible, we should go to N2. Right. That means that you should definitely start learning Japanese language if you want to go to Japan to work. So we often get this question: are there any internship opportunities for students in Japan?
So I think internship in Japan is not such a widespread concept. At least in my 5 years or so, I haven't really seen any volunteers or interns working at any company. So what I would suggest is that you intern or volunteer somewhere at a Japanese company in India, and then you look for opportunities because many Japanese companies, they have a system where they can send you to Japan, let's say for a week or a few months or a year or so. That's how you grow and then go to Japan.
Yeah, there are plenty of such companies. There is NEC, Honda, to name a few. Where Amazon, where employees are they are placed in Japan for short-term or long-term basis. Great. So Swati, one last question to you. If you had to do one thing differently in your career, what it would be?
Nothing.
That's great. That's a great answer, and I will leave it at that. Thank you, Swati. Thank you for coming here. It was great having you.
Seriously, thank you
It's
so
always
much.
so nice to meet you and share these.
Absolutely, yeah, it's
Yeah.
obviously, it's always a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks everyone. So I hope this video was helpful for you to understand the work culture in Japan, the job market in Japan, and whoever is planning, gambatte kudasai, please work hard and find your place in Japan. Bye. Bye.